today's lesson, Unit 4, Data Analysis, Day 1, Stat Edit and Correlation. Number 1 says draw a line of best fit and estimate its equation. I've already drawn that in, so make sure you have that on your paper. Down here, we've got to estimate the equation that fits this line. What are these numbers right here? What are those called? Those numbers, the 6, 60, 60, 60. What are those? It's what? Yeah, what are they in terms of a line? So we have a linear function. That's y equals mx. Y equals mx plus b. So these are in the what position? The y-intercept. So these are the y-intercepts, 6, 60, and 60. So if you look, we can go ahead and rule out one. Is our y-intercept at 60 or down here at 6? 60. So you can mark out A. You can mark out A. Okay. The number with the x, what is that called? Your slope. Okay, so let's find the slope. I'm going to pick 60 since that's what they're saying it starts at. So I'm going to put a point at 60. And then looks pretty close to having another point right there. So remember, to find your slope, you got to pick 2 points on the line. Pick 2 points on the line. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go up how many? Be careful. Up how many? 10 from 60 to 70. So I'm going to go up 10 and over 3. Okay. Up 10 and over 3. Type 10 over 3 in your calculator. All right, this is the one time that we do want a decimal because it's a multiple choice and they have decimals. So we've got 0.3, 3.3, and 33. Which one? C, 3.3. Okay. I thought I heard somebody knock. Okay. Now we're going to learn how to do it in the calculator. So this says the table below shows the cost of a sub sandwich based on the number of extras ordered. Which function represents the cost of a sub sandwich with n extras added on? We're going to learn how to use the calculator. So go ahead and make sure your calculator's ready to go. All right. In your calculator, you want to hit stat right here. It's underneath the delete button. Hit stat. Everybody do it with me. Everybody do it with me. Hit stat. Then you're going to hit enter because we're going to have to edit our information. So hit enter. And if yours, does anybody's have numbers in theirs? Okay, if you do, you need to go up and get that highlighted and hit clear enter. Did that get rid of your numbers? Okay, and you can go over to L2 as well, get that highlighted and hit clear enter to get rid of the data in there. Okay, we're going to type our data in. This is going to go in L1 and that's going to go in L2. So in L1 you're going to type in 1 and then you press enter. And then 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter. So get all those typed in. And then go over to L2. And you're putting in 5.56. It's going to cut off the zeros because the calculator knows it doesn't need them. It's going to cut off the zeros, and that's fine. Go down. All right, now start typing it in. Press enter. All right, after you get those in, you're going to press stat again. Press stat again. This time you're going to go over to calc. You want to make the calculator calculate. So go over to calc. So press this over arrow. And you're going down to lin-reg. That stands for linear regression. So you're going down to number 4, and you're going to press enter, enter, enter. Some of y'all, you're going to press enter until you see this. So different calculators require you to press it a different number of times. So you just keep pressing enter until you get that on your screen. All right. The calculator gives you the formula, which is pretty cool. The only thing the calculator does, instead of using M, what letter do they use? A, but it still stands for the same thing. A is your what? Slope, and B is your, great. Okay, good. So you're going to write your equation y equals 0.5x plus 5. You're putting in your slope and your y-intercept. You're putting in your milk and brownies just like we did the past week. You need your slope and your y-intercept. All right, so looking at your answer choices, A, B, C, or D? A. All right, 0.50 n plus 5. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, let's do another one. The table below shows the cost of a coffee based on the number of extras ordered. Which function represents the cost of a coffee with n extras added on? So we're going to use our calculator. So press stat again. Press stat. And then you're going to edit the information. So you press enter. If you notice, these are already 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can just leave those. So I'm going to come over here, and you can just type straight over them, or you could clear it out. If you wanted to clear it, you would go up and get that highlighted and press clear, enter, if you wanted to clear the whole column out. So I'll put in 2, enter, 2.75, enter, 3.5, and 4.25. Okay, after you get them in, you press stat again and go over to calc. And which one do you go down to? Yep, lin-reg, number 4. Enter, enter, mine. I've got to do it a couple times. Okay. All right. Elijah, what does the 0.75 tell me? Which is what? Slope or the y-intercept? Slope. So 0.75 is my slope, so it gets an x plus 1.25 is my y-intercept. Okay? So Samaria, A, B, C, or D? A. Okay. The second thing that we're going to learn today is called correlation. All right, correlation. There's 4 different types that you have to know. This one is called strong positive, because if you draw a line through the middle, is that line going up or going down? It's going up, so it's going to have a positive slope. And it's strong. Think about if you have a really strong magnet. If you have a strong magnet, it draws things close to it. So think about this as a magnet. If it's strong, things are going to go towards it. All right. Weak positive is like if you have a weak magnet. It doesn't draw things to it very well. Okay. So this one's weak. See how spread out they are around it? So that's considered weak. It's still positive. Why? It's going up. This one's strong negative. It's going down. And the magnet has drawn all the things close to it. So that's a really strong magnet. Okay. A weak one, again, they're going to be spread out around it. But negative, negative slope, positive, positive slope. Okay. All right. All right, number 4, the scatter plot below shows the number of division errors students made on a test and the amount of time they took to take the test. And you've got 4 answer choices. There's a strong positive relationship, a strong negative relationship, a weak positive, or a weak negative. Those are your 4 answer choices. The first thing I want you to do is draw a line on your paper. So do that, everybody. Draw a line through the points. Draw a line through the points. All right, Stephen A., is that a positive line or a negative line? Negative. So you can mark out A and C because it's going down. Okay. All right, I know sometimes they get a little tricky, but for the most part, do we think this one's strong or weak? Strong. They're pretty close to it, all right? It's your magnet, and things are pretty close. Those dots are not far off from the line. So that one's going to be a strong negative. Examine the scatter plots below. The axes all have the same scale. This one's not multiple choice. We got to answer each of these questions. A says, which plot shows the weakest correlation between its 2 variables? Explain your choice. Chase, which one do you think shows the weakest correlation? B. And why, Chase? Because they're all spread out. All right, Shakira, the next answer, or the next question says, do any of the plots illustrate a negative correlation? Nope. You could argue that B does, but that you could argue probably either way on that one. C, which plot shows the strongest correlation? Jeremy, which one shows the strongest correlation? C, good. Why, Jeremy? Yep, close to the line. If we drew a line, those points are pretty close. Okay. The scatter plot below shows the annual salaries of 13 graphic designers and the amount of time they work at their current job. Which statement is true? There is no relationship. There is a negative relationship. There is a strong positive, or there is a weak positive. All right, Faith, what's the first thing I want you to do on these? Up here, draw a line. So we're going to draw a line. Try to split the dots half above it and half below it. So draw your own line on your paper. Brandon, positive or negative? Positive. So which one can I mark out? B and A. All right, Hallie, what do you think? Strong positive or weak positive? Weak. A lot of students hate these questions, and I'm with you. I hate these questions too because I know it can be tricky, but I am going to go with weak on this one. You've got some that are pretty spread out on that one, but there's not a definite why is it strong, why is it weak. Those can get a little tricky. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, the R value is called the correlation coefficient, which you're like, why in the world do they call it R if both of those start with C's? I don't know. All right, but it's R. R is your correlation coefficient. Okay, so you have to tell the calculator to give you the R value. It doesn't automatically do it. So you've got 3 steps to do that. All right, you're going to hit second 0 on your calculator. That's the first step. You hit second 0. Second 0. All right, and then you scroll down to diagnostic on, and they're in ABC order. So you scroll down until you get to diagnostic. own, right there. Diagnostic own. Okay, so diagnostic own. So write that on your paper. Diagnostic own. And then you press enter. Enter, enter. You press enter twice until it says done. Did you do it already? Okay. All right, so you press enter twice. So you do enter, enter, until it says done. Okay. Anybody's calculator not working? Everybody already do it? They already see done? Raise your hand if you saw done on your thing. Okay. All right, good. Okay. Right here, if R is -1, do you think that's going to be a positive or a negative relationship? Negative. And it's going to be strong. It's going to be strong negative. The lowest it can go to is -1. That's the lowest it can go, so that's as strong as it gets. That's as strong as it gets. So if you have -1, that's strong negative. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if you have +1, that's as big as it can get, that is strong positive. So anytime you see 1, it's going to be strong, and if it's negative, it's negative. If it's positive, it's positive. Okay? All right, if you get a 0, 0 is right in between -1 and +1. Do y'all agree with that? This one's going to be no relationship at all. That means they have nothing in common. That would be like, for example, comparing how fast somebody can run to the number of cats they have. Do those have any relationship with each other? No. Okay. Something that has a strong relationship might be how many hours somebody spends in a gym and how much weight they can lift. Okay, that would be a strong positive relationship. They have a lot in common. How many hours you spend in the weight room and how much weight you can lift, those have a strong relationship. Okay. All right. So the way you want to think about this is one, like having $1. Okay, that's strong positive. 0.9, how many cents is 0.9? 90 cents. Is that close to having $1? Is 90 cents close to having $1? Yes. That one's still strong because you're still close to having your dollar, and it's negative because it has a negative sign. Okay. All right, what about 0.05? How many cents is that? 5 cents. That's a nickel. Is that close to having $1? No, so this one is weak. Weak negative or weak positive? Positive. So basically the cutoff point is having 50 cents. If you have more than 50 cents, that's considered strong. If you have less than 50 cents, that's considered weak. So 0.8, how many cents is that? 80 cents? Is that close to having $1? So that one's strong. Strong weak or strong, strong positive or strong negative? Positive. And the last one, 0.1, how many cents is that? 10 cents. That's a dime. Strong or weak? Weak. Any questions? Okay, what type of correlation is shown in the table? So the first thing you have to do is you have to put them in stat. So you're going to go to stat on your calculator. Everybody do it with me. Press stat on your calculator. And you're going to press enter. And I'm going to go ahead and clear these out. So I would go up to that and highlight it and press clear, enter. Go over to the other one, press clear, enter. All right, you're typing in all these numbers, 40, 75, 85, 110, 90, 55, 96, 50. All right, go over to that one and type in the other column. Okay. All right, press Stat again. Go over to Calc again, going down to number 4. And this time, it should give us the R value as well down at the bottom. It gives you the R value because we turned it on. We went to second, 0, diagnostic on. R value is 0.49. Write that down on your paper. R is 0.49. All right, another thing I want you to write on your paper, I want you to circle correlation and put R beside of that. So whenever it asks for correlation, so circle the word correlation and put R. So whenever you see correlation, you're going to have to look at the R value. So we get 0.49. First of all, is that a positive number or a negative number? Positive, so you can mark out C and D. Is that less than 50 cents or more than 50 cents? Less, so we're going to call that weak. We're going to call that weak, less than 50 cents. Okay. All right, number 8. Which of the following is the correlation coefficient for the linear model? Riley K., what are we circling? So Madison, what letter is that? The R. So we have to get the R value. All right, we're going to go back to stat. That's going to be L1 and that's going to be L2 in the calculator. So go ahead and do it. Put it in. So 3, 5, 2, 6, 1, and 10. Elijah. Go. Somebody tell me what's after 36. And? Thank you. Okay. All right, y'all got him in? Okay, press stat again. Go over to calc, down to number 4. And the R value is what? 1. So that is C. The R value is 1, which is C. Number 9, the table below shows the amount of time 7 students study for a test and their respective test scores, which describes the relationship between the time a student spent studying and their test score. So again, you've got these words correlation, and you have numbers. You don't have a graph that you can draw a line on. So you're going to have to find the R value. Since you don't have a graph, you've got a table. You're going to find an R value. All right, go ahead and put them in stat. Yep. All right, press stat again. Over to count, down to number 4. And it asks for the correlation, so we're looking at R value. I'm going to round that to 0.96. So the R value is 0.96. Elijah, is that a strong positive, strong negative, weak positive, or weak negative? Good, strong positive. So that one is A. That one is A. All right, try number 10 on your own. Keep going, press enter. So when it says relationship or correlation, you're looking at R. Okay, last two. Number 11, Brandon, hold on just a minute, and let me explain it, then you can go to town. Which table best fits a linear model? What do you think it means by linear model? Like, what does linear mean? A line. So it's saying which one of these best fits a line. So we want to know which one of these would be closest to a straight line when we plotted them. Okay, we want to know which one of these would be closest to a straight line if we plotted them on a graph. What would their correlation coefficient, what would their R value be if all the points were on the line? It would be really close to what? 1. Good. So write this down. The R would be close to 1 if they're all going to be on a linear model. So we're looking for the R value that is closest to 1. It could also be -1. It doesn't matter. Both of those are really strong. The positive just means the line would be going up. The negative would mean the line's going down. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to find the R value for each one of these. You've got to find the R value for each one. So go ahead and do that and write it down. Write it down for each one. Underneath it, write down the R value for each one. Okay, if you're not done, that's okay. You can just write these down. So what did you get for A? Point what? 98, 0.97, close enough. For B, you got 0.95, right? What did you get for C? 0.99. And what did you get for D? -1. You want the one that's closest to +1 or -1. So which one would that be? D. R is -1. That is that's the strongest one up here. I know it's negative, that doesn't matter, but it's still the strongest because it's a 1. All right, number 12, which one is not a linear function? So this time we don't want it to be close to 1. What do we want it to be close to? 0. Write that down. Great. Good job, whoever said that. Close to 0, because it's not a linear function. So write that down and go ahead and find your R values for each of those. She's going home? Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure she's staying. Okay, what did y'all get for the first one, table 1? 1? Okay, what did you get for table 2? What about table 3? And table 4? What is the answer on this one? B. 0. Gives you 0. Okay. Any questions? Yes. Yeah. Let me go ahead and